Hello and welcome to part 2 of Up the Posh 2. I'm Kev and I want to kick things off by saying a massive thank you to everybody who has already watched, liked, shared the part 1 that came out yesterday. At the time of recording, it is, let's double check this, don't worry, not the hotline to my dad. It's 9 hours since the episode came out, so it's 10 o'clock on the Saturday night. There's already been close to 100 likes on there. I've never seen an episode have this many likes, this many views as quickly as that one has. So it's massively appreciated. I hope you're all enjoying it. I hope you're all back again today. But on today's video, we have 2 matches for you. So we've got the first 2 league games after the closing of the transfer window. So we're away against Chesterfield and then at home to Oxford. We did do one more piece of transfer business before the window closed. We did bring in the defender I was threatening. Luke McCulloch comes in from Doncaster, I think we signed him from. 21-year-old Northern Irish international. We signed him from Doncaster for £775,000. So we've really thrown some money around this summer, but he comes in as pretty much same kind of standard as Jack Baldwin. So we've got 2 really good young centre-backs at the club now with potential to go on and get even better. So we spent £2.4 million on transfers in the end. We did originally have a budget of about 3.1, but we bumped some of that into wage budget. So we're pretty much cleaned out now, although we've still got £2 million in the bank. We have no transfer budget and we're maxed out on wage budget. So that's us done for a little while. Form-wise, since you were last with me, it's been pretty disastrous actually. We've only won the 1 game in the league. Luckily it was a fan day, so attendances, I'm assuming, have been quite good. There you go, there was 8,000 there that day. Next home game, 9,000. Goodness me, we're getting some people through the door. So we had a 5-4 thriller against AFC Wimbledon, but other than that it's just a string of defeats with the odd draw thrown in here. I'm hoping a penalty victory against Scunthorpe in the first round of the Johnson's Paint Trophy might be enough to turn spirits around and pick up a result against Chesterfield today. Unfortunately, we don't get to see McCulloch in action because he's away on international duty with the Northern Ireland under-21 team. So this is the team that we're putting out there today. So we've got Ben Anick in goal, a back 4 of Binham Williams, Baldwin, Bostwick and White. Goodness me, that's the exact back 4 that played for Posh today. Remarkable. We've then got Forrester and Razak in midfield, Phyllis Kirk, Skugel and Edwards in behind Seeger. I'm giving Seeger his first start because I'm struggling to find someone to score the goals. We played Phyllis Kirk up there. We've given Angol a try. We gave Colthurst a try. So we're giving Seeger a go today, which means dropping Paul Taylor to the bench. And Phyllis Kirk drops back to the inside forward role. So let's get into the game. Is there anyone we recognise in the Chesterfield team? Let's have a little look. I don't think I know who any of those players are, so I'm going to take that as a good sign, because if they were really good, I'd know about them from my non-league to legend save. We didn't get anywhere near this level until about 5 or 6 seasons in, so if they were good enough to be still players I'd recognise 5 or 6 seasons in the future, then we know they're probably alright. This lot, load of rubbish, we'll be fine. The league table, we're trying to avoid looking at it at the moment because it's scary stuff. In fact, because of the way it won't let me drag it down any further because my head gets in the way. Anick with a terrible mistake there. I was going to say we're right at the bottom of it because otherwise you have to scroll to see us. We might even fall even lower than that. And this, because I think this ball was going wide. Let's watch it in 3D. So, I mean, that is going wide. There's no reason at all for Anick to get involved in that. And if he really feels the need to, just tip it out for a corner. Instead, he pushes it back in towards the penalty spot. And Chesterfield forward is just there to tuck it away. No problem at all. Right, can we get an equaliser before half-time? Binham Williams, awful cross. It was more a shot than a cross. It was just terrible. And we're going to go in behind at the break once again, unless Skugel can do something here. He finds Edwards, but Edwards misses out Razak. Forrester, Edwards again. He's sort of not really running anywhere in particular, but Skugel with a great ball through to Seeger, and we've got a goal back. It's 1-1. And That's a goal that couldn't have happened previously because Skugel hasn't really played much yet and Seeger hasn't really played much yet. And we get a lovely little through ball from Skugel. Seeger is onto it, and that's a nice finish because he made it hard for himself with the angle he pushed it out to. But good to see our advanced playmaker in behind the striker playing a little through ball. That's what he's there for. Right, 1-1 at half-time, away from home. Not a disaster as yet. So hopefully we can just nick something in this second half, but we're not going to do it with dodgy passes like that. We're out of the relegation zone though. Actually, no, we're not. 4 go down from this division, don't they? I almost danced for you, but luckily I managed to just withdraw at the last moment to save everyone's embarrassment. Wouldn't have embarrassed me, but it would have embarrassed you. You'd have seen the quality of dancing you're up against. Right, Forrester is really struggling for fitness at the moment, so he's not setting the world alight today, so we're going to take Forrester off just to give him a little bit of a rest. And I think I'm going to bring Paul Taylor on for Philliskirk as well. Taylor's had his little rest today now. We've got Marcus Maddison on the bench as well. You didn't see him in the last episode because he wasn't fit. He had a bit of a knock over the summer, but he's around and about and fit again in the squad as well. So we'll see him sooner rather than later, presumably. In fact, I might make him my next substitution because he has magic in his feet. But then so does Paul Taylor. So, Taylor's had more impact on the team so far this season, so he gets the go first. That was just a really dodgy, hopeful ball through there, but we're putting them under pressure with some good pressing. Payne intercepts. Seeger must be offside. It's corner though, so he wasn't offside, so it goes down as a poor finish. Corner comes in. Razak finds Taylor again. What can Taylor do? It's another corner. We're putting a lot of pressure on Chesterfield here. This is the best spell of play we've probably had in the whole of the save so far. Skugel's now in good space. Why play it back to Razak there? But White with a chance to cross. He does find Taylor, and I don't know if that was off the post. Crossbar, good save. Either way, we are throwing the ball at the net at the moment. We've had 3 clear-cut chances in this match. It's the first time we've outplayed a team, and Edwards is in, and we're 2-1 up. Perhaps we don't need to bring Marcus Maddison on after all. That fires us up into a lower mid-table spot. It's still not where we want to be, but if we can hold on to this score, and we are playing well for pretty much for the first time, we're actually producing some good football now. And that's just a nice little ball and a really simple finish. And Skugel making it again, I think. Was it a ball from Skugel? I think it was. He had a bit of a knock when he first arrived, so we've not seen much of him so far. Is this celebration going on long enough yet? I mean, I imagine the rest of the team need to make it over here now, do they? And now I want to see these players booked now for celebrating too much. This is just silly. For goodness sake, referee, book them. Look, the ref's there. Show him a yellow card. Because this is silly. Is the goal getting disallowed? You look like you're talking to the linesman. No. The goal stands. What just happened? That was just weird. Why are we still in 3D? There we go. The game just sort of flipped out on us a bit there. That was odd. Right. What have we got on the bench? I'm tempted to bring Maddison on for Seeger. Stick Taylor up front. Just because I feel we all deserve to have a little look at Marcus Maddison. So we'll do that for the last 10 minutes. There you go. That's a YouTube substitution there. Because if you lot weren't watching, no way that's a substitution I make. I'll probably take off Baldwin because he's struggling for fitness and just shore things up at the back. But, you know, we want to show off with Marcus Maddison. We want to grab another goal. None of it matters now. We've picked up a win. That is only our second league win of the season, and it makes a massive difference. That puts us up to 15th place. I can't even click in the right spot. And in a rather splendid position to be in going into this game against Oxford. Right, here we go. We've switched things up again a little bit for the Oxford game. We're bringing Marcus Maddison into the team because he's having a bit of a whinge that he's not really playing yet. So he's coming in on the right-hand side. Taylor back in on the left, pushing Philliskirk back up front. So Seeger drops back down to the bench. Skugel keeps his spot as the attacking playmaker, and I've switched Taylor to be a winger and Maddison as an inside forward. They ideally would both want to be inside forwards, but I don't want to play with two because that seems a little bit silly. The other change I've made, McCulloch is back off international duty, so he comes in at the back alongside Baldwin, allowing us to push Michael Bostwick up into his preferred position in midfield. So it drops Gwion Edwards and Abdul Razak down to the bench so they can have a little rest. apologies as well for the fact that it might seem like I'm whispering. I've already said it's like gone 10 o'clock at night. There's kids asleep upstairs. That's the problem with me having to do this on this computer in the house. Important news though, I have ordered a laptop. It's going to be here within next week, so we don't have to whisper for long. Soon I'll be back out in the garage, green screen will be back. I'm working on some pretty graphics and a proper intro and all that stuff. Didn't have time to do any of that because I rushed the episode out because we couldn't do that last Bolton episode. So, for goodness sake. Here's me explaining why everything's been a little bit dodgy and not up to my normal high standards. Tactically, we're not up to the normal high standards either, because Oxford have managed to grab a goal with their first kick of the game almost, and I'm not really sure what Anik's doing there, because that's just poor. And it looks like he's got a blue shirt under his reddy orangey goalkeeping shirt, which when we're playing in blue, I don't see how that can be allowed. You can't have the goalkeeper wearing the same colour kit as the rest of the team. That's just silly. Marcus Maddison's picked up a knock now. He's got a back strain. Goodness me. Well, hopefully that'll stop him whining about not getting football. We're probably going to have to take him off sooner rather than later so that it doesn't get any worse. You don't want to mess around with backs. But Ben and Williams is in. Cross comes into Maddison, and Maddison's got the goal. Forget your back strain, Marcus. Why are you wearing a Newcastle shirt in your little graphic there? Is that really how old the graphics from whatever corner of the internet I got this from was? You've been at POSH for 3 years nearly. Whoever I got these graphics from, and I can't remember, sort it out. He's not been at Newcastle for like 4 years. He was at Gateshead before POSH. That's just silly. Right, he doesn't seem to be struggling too much for condition, considering he's got a back strain. I don't know how serious a back strain is, but as he's already nabbed a goal 20 minutes into his first start of the season, probably need to leave him on the pitch for a little while, eh? Right, Bostwick intercepts. See, I like having Bostwick in midfield. Forrester is able to have a little bit more freedom to go dancing forward the way he just did, although he didn't make anything of it that time, and Baldwin needs to intercept. He does, and Forrester humps it forward to Phyllis Kirk, and it just bounces back off him, and it makes amends for that mistake in the last game, because he came out brilliantly there. And Taylor needs to watch himself. He's already on a yellow card, and he's throwing himself around a little bit, and we've conceded another goal. We're so porous at the back, and I'm worried that neither of our wide men are going to make it to the end of the match. I think Maddison's going to be injured. Taylor's going to get himself sent off because he's charging around like a lunatic, and he's already on a yellow card. And I'm already thinking, get them both off at half time maybe. We've got Edwards on the bench, and we've got Phyllis Kirk who could drop wide, so we could bring on Seeger, or I think Angol's on the bench as well. So we have options to protect both of them. But Paul Taylor should be old enough to know better. He shouldn't be charging around the way he is. White, again, is another one who's on a yellow card and just throwing himself into these challenges. I don't think we're on a particularly tough tackling instruction. We'll have a little look at the instructions at half time, but there's not really any reason why they should be hurling themselves at the ball the way they are. Where does tackling even live on here? I never even change it. Tackling's just on normal. But they do seem to be throwing themselves in a little bit. Right. Taylor's just having a poor game. I am thinking we're probably going to take Taylor off at half time. We'll leave Maddison on for a little bit. He can become... Does he want to be... Can you be a winger? No. Should we just make them both wingers? I don't really like doing that either, but I'd rather have two wingers than two inside forwards. So I'll get Maddison out onto the left. Edwards on the right. Let them both just whip crosses in for Phyllis Kirk, at least for the first 10 or 15 minutes of this second half, and then we'll probably look to bring off Maddison, drop Phyllis Kirk back, and probably bring Seeger on up front. He didn't do anything wrong in the last game. I've purely dropped him to try and get Maddison into the team, and probably shouldn't have done that, but it's his own fault. He came and whined at me, and I'm not a strong personality like old Marcus is. He threatened me. I felt intimidated. Oh, is this going to be a red card here? Phyllis Kirk, you could argue, was through, and they're off. Right, that's right at the start of the second half. They're down to 10 men. Now we need to go on and win this game. Right, White into Skugel. Skugel finds Bostwick. Bingham Williams. Oh, Phyllis Kirk misses an absolute sitter there. I don't know if that lad's a striker, I think he might end up being an attacking midfielder for us, and that's exactly where he's going now. So we're taking off Marcus Maddison, we're bringing on Ryan Seeger, and we're just going to get Phyllis Kirk out there, inside, forward him up, And hopefully Seegers, if he is presented with a chance like the one Phyllis Kirk just had, hopefully he won't be so useless with it. Because again, if we look at the clear-cut chances, we're even with Oxford. We should be even in this game. And that's just poor defending. That was awful. Was that? I don't even know if that was Baldwin or McCulloch at fault for that. But that is just... it's McCulloch. There you go. There's your first impression of McCulloch. That was poor. He's got absolutely no hair. Wow. He's only 21. He's got the weird little undershirt on as well. Have Under Armour secretly sponsored Football Manager and snuck it into the game? I've never noticed that before. Phyllis Kirk's not having a good game, is he? But I don't really have anyone to bring on for him. I guess I could bring on Razak and push Forrester forward. Or I could bring on Angol and go 2 up top. Move Skugel out wide. I think we'll do that, actually. Actually, Angol can play out there. So can Seeger, probably. Skugel? No. What combination shall we do? No, we'll do this one. And then we'll actually just... I don't really know. What is he defensive forward? I don't ever remember using one before. Oh, puts pressure on. Chasing men down. I like the sound of that. And then if we put him in there... But Shadow Striker. I mean, this is silly now, isn't it? But we'll do that. That's just the worst. Do we have to do that to balance it? We probably do, don't we? So like a twisted 4-3-1-2, I guess, is what we're doing here for the last 20 minutes. And I know it's stupid, but you got to remember, in fact, we're against 10 men. Forget this nonsense. He's going back up there. Where are they missing? I mean, their man is missing in midfield. So our 2 should be able to compete with their 2, no problem, because our 2's better than their 2. But we look completely overrun. For goodness sake. We're outnumbering them and somehow they're overrunning us in the midfield. This is, from one of our most impressive performances of the season so far in that last game, this has just been awful. Oxford are not a good side. And they've been down to 10 men for half the game and we're losing 4-1 at home. And Alec was useless there again. There is work to do. A lot of work to do. Where are Oxford in the league even? Okay, they're top of the league. They're perhaps not as useless as I was saying they were. But still, 10 men have just torn us apart. That one hurt. That was painful. Right, what does that do to our league position? As much as I'm trying to avoid it at this point of the season, we're not in the relegation zone, but if we are still down here the next time you're with me in, I don't know, 5 or 6 games time, I'm going to be bordering on the sack. Have you ever seen a YouTube save where the manager's been sacked and the save just ended after like 4 episodes before? Because that's what you might be in for here. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. Thank you very much for watching.